Like they're being difficult. No, it's not perceived at all. Concerns.
Did you guys have young fans from signing all the papers I gave you?
Well, you know, it's part that I had to sign twice, and you only had to sign once.
That's not Lynn, that was before, but that's okay.
I have something else for you to sign, Ross.
Oh.
If it makes you feel any better.
But that's okay, he's good in the same position, so we've all had to go through it. When I'm retired, signing, that's the most work I've done in a week.
Must be nice.
We're just so happy you guys got the air conditioning fixed.
No, it was. My office was working. We'd all.
She was a green eye.
You'd all been in my office. We could have.
It's always like the hottest week, right? That it, that
Yeah, no one said anything to me and Loretta until about 11 o'clock. Our offices were working fine. They come in, it's taking, what are you talking about? The office was like,
I'll say you get fans to.
I had a fan in my office, I brought it out here, we moved people to a couple of their offices, we were able to easily. They were able to get it fixed that night, luckily.
He's got friends in the mid.
I called in, we have a good relationship with our contractor and. He's like, yeah, he's like, I'm in Laguna right now. He said, I'm on way, show me traffic. He's like, will you come back? So I'll come back to you tonight, don't worry about it.
Very nice.
So we got out of here by 8 o'clock, but
Oh, God.
so I saw there's one tech tear apart the condenser out here, the fan went bad, pulling it apart, holding up, what to do it.
Yeah, good one.
And it's a lady, she's like, thank you so much. These are so hard by myself. I'm like, I just want it done.
Yeah.
I was sweating, I
Yeah.
was dripping.
How's it go?
And how I get
Good,
good
good.
to see you.
Yeah, good to see you guys too. In person and not in the faraway box. You guys were all so little on the box.
Oh, yeah.
Sheriff's called.
That's never good.
Trying to get the name of our security company. It's Supreme Shield. It's not, it rings a bell. I was thinking Supreme Shield because I have down Supreme Shield.
Yes.
I want to make sure, that's why I just
That
texted
does
you. Just want to make sure it's the right one.
Are these photos holding up?
But I'm trying to fade a little bit, but not
Yeah,
bad. These are years old.
Yeah.
We need to, which they might count.
I can only post it.
Maybe you're right. Yeah.
Right?
These are pretty, these are just off our printer from here.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's like photo.
But
If.
even that down, because that's how I ended.
So much. He's got.
Eileen,
Oh, hi, Bob.
This one, no. The plans, these are some checks we get.
that was weird.
Monday, the
In your-
signature.
I said hi to Lynn and the camera moved away from her.
This one is.
Okay.
Yeah, you've got the board view now.
This is the radio.
That's Frank.
We have to pay them.
He's in-
Yeah, this is our.
I know.
Till what, Labor Day?
Did you get flooded out, Lynn?
No,
That's good.
there was rain today.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he sent me a nice photo. He goes, this is like the call map. Rain coming down. I'll see him week after this coming.
Okay, you have some for me to submit.
Yeah, this is the map. We're gonna assume it's gonna get approved
Oh,
tonight.
that's be special for you.
After we have special plans, so you are gonna sign, you're gonna initial there because of the stuff. And you're gonna sign here. I see this. After the baby, sign here. Thank you so much.
We've been here.
Yeah, you know, I almost took that sign down. It signed down. I thought,
I should have texted me at
you know what, if I didn't have my daughter with me, I probably would have.
Well, I just consider those to be political signs, no matter, you know, we just take them down.
Right. So, yeah,
Make sure they're gone in the morning.
Okay, can we send an invoice to the guy that keeps parking at Shadow Rock?
Which one?
Ice cream guy?
And then voice on
Yeah,
Well,
can we do that?
and no, I want to, we have a letter that our maintenance guys bring to him, but he's learned when they're gone for the day, he comes later in the afternoons now.
Well, I go walking in the.
You want the letter?
Yeah, I can give him the letter.
So for the longest time, he just parked out on the street.
Oh, he was in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Flash speed signs.
He's back in the park. I think he's right in that very first spot too.
Yeah.
I've got his phone number. I think they need a text. I'm sure. From the
And then the address is Miramona.
he's out of the commissary right there on Sensing.
Yeah.
Loretta,
My
my son-in-law's been out of town for work, so.
$100 a day.
Daughter Came
Is
over
that-
Sunday
is
and
that
didn't leave
for
until
this
Tuesday.
You don't have one, but I would rather just create one.
We were.
Yeah.
You know, I think fine.
Exhausted. I went to bed that night and
The
my.
guys don't like them.
I.
Not because they don't like ice cream.
I don't.
Because they just buy ice cream.
Usually.
They don't. Around the park.
Yeah.
She didn't go to concert. Start for maintenance.
And
and the property over on 37. You know, between my 37. My wife
So
was
nice to be able to
and I looked over
noise.
the fence,
Disturbing.
Well, Michigan. and I see this pile of trash, and I couldn't tell if it was ours or just wherever. So today when I drove back, drove past 37, and there was a pile of trash on the outside of the fence, and someone throwing a mattress over the fence. And then on the right side, but outside of our fence, there's a homeless camp there.
Where's this?
Our property on 37. Yeah, there's a homeless camp, but it's not on our property. It's against our fence, but
Nothing we can do about that.
nothing we can do about that, yeah.
We'll get code enforcement on it.
But someone's been dumping garbage over the fence into our property.
Lovely.
We'll get it to you tomorrow, Rich.
For closed session.
No, just that we're gonna reconvene in closed session in the meeting. No reportable action.
I'm happy to announce what you need to if you'd like, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, please.
Have you convened?
It is now 6:43. We'll reconvene the board meeting for the Brook Area Recreation and Park District.
And it should be noted for the record that the board met in closed session commencing at 5:30 pursuant to 5467.6 of the California Government Code and they discussed salaries and salary schedules of district employees. They did not complete their discussion and they intend to continue the same at the conclusion of the open session portion of the meeting tonight. That's
Thank
it.
you. All right, we'll do the pledge to the flag.
Asia?
Wait, where we standing? Push your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin.
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Can you get roll call, please?
Division 1, Kim Gerald Johnson. Here. Division 2, Jose Luis Godinez.
Present.
Division 3, Rebecca Rodarte Byrne. Present. Division 4, Edgar Testle.
Present.
Division 5, Ross Leisure.
Sure.
Do we have any presentations or recognitions?
Not this evening, Mr. President.
You, any further comments?
No,
To consent calendar, would anyone like to pull anything off the consent calendar?
I move approval of the consent calendar.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item passes 5-0.
We don't have to do roll call on that election item.
That's just a
Not a resolution.
suggestion.
Okay.
Sign file.
On to item 5.1. Adoption of resolutions. Do I need to name all of them? No, all right. So 2024-23 all the way to 2024-34, approving for fiscal year 2024-34. Community Facilities Districts, and then number 2004-1 all the way to 2016-1
2020-1.
and 2021 special tax levies.
Thank you, Mr. President. I think I'm just gonna turn this over to what I'm referred to as the Lynn Gruber Show this evening. This is an annual process for you, as the board is well aware, a number of logistical stuff we must take care of with regards to our CFD annual tax rates.
Yeah, so this is the annual resolution that you approve, the rates that will be applied to the tax bills that we submit to the county in August, and people get on their tax bills in the September, October timeframe. So it is kind of interesting to note, the CFD program has been building a lot over the years, and we're collecting over $4.2 million on the CFD levies at this point. So,
It's our 20th year.
yeah. Yeah. With that, if there's any questions, happy to answer them. Otherwise, be available for approval.
Any questions? Nope. Entertain a motion.
Sure. I move that the Board of Directors approve and adopt the 12 submitted resolutions numbers 2024-23 through 2024-34 inclusive, authorizing the annual levy of special taxes for fiscal year 2024 through 2025 within JARPD's Community Facilities Districts numbers 2004-1, 2004-2, 3005-1, 2005-2, 2006-1, 2007-1, 2014-1, 2014-2, 2015-1, 2015-2, 2016-1, and 2020-1 respectively.
You second that. Okay.
Roll call.
Rebecca Rodorty Byrne.
Yes.
Okay, Kim Jo Johnson. Aye. Jose Luis Godinez.
Yes.
Edgar Castro.
Yes.
Ross Leisha.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you, Bob, for shortening that.
That was the short version.
That was the short version.
All right. On to 5.2. Public hearing and introduction of resolution number 2024-35 and resolution number 2024-36. Approving the final engineer's report and ordering the levy and collection of assessments within the Hurupa Area Recreation and Park District Maintenance Assessment District for the fiscal year 2024-2025.
I think we'll keep it rolling.
Okay, so this is the public hearing. At your last meeting, you approved the resolution of intention to get this process rolling. Tonight is the public hearing for the maintenance district. This is what is also known as the $15 per single family or EDU that the district has levied since 1996. So, and it generates about $513,000 this year. So that continues to inch up because of the small rate, and that does not increase. It's $15 flat. And with that, it would be appropriate to open up the public hearing, make sure we don't have any public comment.
Opening the public hearing, seeing no comment. I'll entertain a motion. We'll do both of them, right?
Yes, I think you could
We
do.
need to formally close the.
Oh, yeah, close the public hearing.
Closing the public hearing.
All right, I move that the Board of Directors adopt resolutions number 2024-35, a resolution of the Board of Directors of the Hurupa Area Recreation and Park Maintenance District approving the final engineer's report of the Hurupa Area Recreation and Park District.
A second.
Rebecca Rodorty Byrne.
Yes.
Kim Jo Johnson. Jose Luis Godinez.
Yes.
Edgar Castro.
Yes.
Ross Leisha.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
I move that the Board of Directors adopts resolution number 2024-36, a resolution of the Board of Directors of the Hurupa Area Recreation and Park Maintenance District ordering the levy and collection of assessments within the Hurupa Area Recreation and Park Maintenance District for fiscal year 2024-25.
I'll second.
And roll call, Rebecca Rodorty Byrne.
Yes.
Kim Jo Johnson.
Aye.
Jose Luis Godinez.
Yes.
Edgar Castro.
Yes.
Ross Leach.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
On to 5.3. This is the adoption of the resolution of intention of the Board of Directors for the Currituck Area Recreation and Park District for annexation number 43 to its Community Facilities District number 2016-1.
So this is the last of the Lynn show. This is adoption of the resolution of intention for annexation number 43 into CFD 2016-1. This is the countryside development. It's 31 units, so that will generate about $21,700 for the CFD on an annual basis once it's maintained. Yeah, Colby's bringing up the map. They're almost half-acre lots, so they're quite large. And then this is RC Hobbs, and then they'll be coming forward with another one in a couple of weeks, which we tried to get them to do together, but that didn't quite work out. So,
We told them to do it together.
Yeah.
They said, no, we're on different timelines. And then last week, hey, can we do them together?
yeah. This one will also be coming forward in the future as a bold CFD as well, with its companion
Yeah.
development of Las Palmas.
For those who aren't familiar with the location, this is the one off of Limonite as you're going down the hill. They're basically where the cell phone tower with the big group of Valley and Water Tower is. It's a property generally below that.
It's between Limonite and Riverview.
Between Limonite and Riverview, yeah, the front of the access to the property of the
Still
Olive
over the
Riverview.
dog park.
South of the, east of the dog park, yeah.
I move that the Board of Directors approve and adopt the submitted resolution of intention for annexation number 43 to CFD number 2016-1.
I'll second.
Roll call. Rebecca Dorothy Burke.
Yes.
Kim Jo Johnson. Aye. Jose Luis Godinez.
Yes.
Edgar Castellanos. Ross Leach.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
That's the end of the Lynn show, right?
It's the end of the intro, unless you want to take over some more, we'll be more than happy to let you.
I don't.
We did have another one that was pulled, as we talked about. It'll be coming back with the bold application for another RC Hops project. Basically across the street from Pacific Avenue Music School. So
That was, yeah.
a lot of development moving forward right now.
Thank you, Lynn.
You bet. Nice to see everybody.
Yes, nice to see you in person. Live in person. Yeah.
We do appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Are you stopping at the county?
I am. I'm gonna drop the map off the county for recordation.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Good night.
Be safe.
Good night, Mom.
All right,
All right, on to 5.4, adoption of the Workplace Violence Prevention Plan.
Yes, this is an item we previously discussed and we brought back with some minor changes. This is a new program we need to put in place in compliance with AB 533. There's been a lot of confusion, misconceptions in regards to this across. It's something new that we're all learning from still here. I know we had a couple questions on it. We went back and looked at a couple things. Loretta and Lorena sat through a couple more seminars on it. We really do feel that we have a good plan here in front of us. I think the biggest thing to note here is, in my opinion, the Workplace Violence Prevention Plan name is misleading. This is not a plan or of how we are going to prevent violence from happening within our facilities. It's, we already have our employee incident accident prevention program in place. That's what that is designed for. This really is, should something happen, what could we have done to prevent it? How did we respond? And how in the future could we do better? Or did we do exactly as we're supposed to and it worked well? So it's a reporting situation. It does define in here our plan, should there be an active shooter, as a run, hide, fight. Mr. Leja's referencing that from our conference we went to, one of the things they talked about. That is being adopted as our policy, so if something should happen, first thing to do is run. If you can't, for whatever reason, hide. And you're found, fight. Yeah. But beyond that, you know, it looks like there's reports that have to be completed by supervisors based upon the incident reports that we completed by staff. It's reviewed as part of our, through Capri, one of our requirements is that we have a employee ran safety program. And they would review the stuff as well to make sure that we're providing the best training to our staff, that our policies are the best for our facilities. With this, we also have to have annual training. Even the board will have to do it. You guys will receive through Paycom a training for the general policies and procedures to complete. But then we also have to physically conduct a training with you guys for this facility, because that's primarily where you're at. Would something happen at this facility? We need to go over the escape routes with you in specific. We need to show you which doors are locked, which doors are not locked, where hiding spots would be, where bad spots would be, things along those lines. I did miscommunicate last time we talked about it, saying that there's an OSHA filing requirement. There's not an OSHA filing requirement unless something happens where they audit us. We do have to keep all of our logs should something happen, and all of our incident reports and everything, but we don't have to physically file them with OSHA unless they've requested them. So that was just kind of the clarification that I received through this. Other than that, I think that was everything, right? Did I miss anything?
How long
So,
are we required to pour onto those forms?
7 years? 5. Thank you. 5 additional years.
Can it be computerized?
Yeah, nothing has to be physical copies anymore. Yes, we have to have the digital copy and clarification. So, but yeah, we have to have not only we'll have to have the computer-based training that everybody has to do, but we have to have training with all of our staff. And many staff, because they work at multiple locations, will have multiple trainings. Because Skyview is different than the Cooper Community Center, which is different than Avalon Gym, which is different than the soccer park, which is different than our park staff that are closing parks. So we have to have, there's a number of trainings we have to do as part of this. And it's documenting that we've done all that. So this will be part of our employee onboarding as well.
Do you know, comments or questions? Well, in a motion?
Sure. I move the board of directors approve resolution 2024-38, adopting the workplace violence prevention plan.
I see.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oppose?
It's just a resolution.
It's a
Sorry, I was just looking at it as a
Okay.
resolution. Okay, so Rebecca Duarte Byrne,
Yes.
Kim Joe Johnson,
aye.
Jose Luis Godinez.
Yes.
Edgar Castellano. Ross Lynch.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
On to item 5.5. Adoption of resolution number 2024-39, declaring the month of July as Parks Make Life Better Month. Mr. Goodwin.
Perfect timing. Because our staff that just walked through the door is going back to the freezer to get out popsicles, because they're either on their way or headed back from, I'm not sure, Avalon Gym, where we're handing out popsicles to all the youth basketball players tonight in honor of our 40th anniversary and our Parks Make Life Better Month. But this is an annual resolution that the board passes, recognizing July as Parks Make Life Better Month. It is something recognized across the country. I think it's something we're very proud to participate with annually. So with that, let's be in motion.
I move the Board of Directors adopt resolution number 2024-39, a resolution of the Board of Directors of the Riviera Recreation Park District declaring July 2024 as Parks Make Life Better Month.
I second.
All in favor?
It's a resolution.
Resolution. That's
Meeting
right.
tonight. It's the hand grant for you guys. Rebecca Duarte Byrne.
Yes.
Kim Joe Johnson.
Aye.
Jose Luis Godinez.
Yes.
Edgar Castellano.
Yes.
Ross Lynch.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Almost all resolutions.
We got a lot of them.
The next one is two.
Yeah, we're not there done yet.
All right, on to item 5.6, reclassification of certain approved positions. Mr. DeGuy.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Again, from our last meeting here, this is an item the board requested to be brought back separately. This is the reclassification of our accounting, tech and human, why am I drawing a blank?
Administrative assistant.
Administrative assistant, human resources to accounting specialist and human resources specialist. As part of the review of our salaries, one of the things we noticed is these two positions were definitely working out of classification. They were doing far more. Those are two positions that we had, well, the administrative assistant position was new last year. And that position's grown far more than I think we originally anticipated. And then as the district has grown, what our accounting tech position is doing now is above and beyond that, and that's why we're looking at the specialist position here. So in front of you is a resolution adopting the job descriptions and the pay scales as presented.
Any comments, questions from the board?
I just want to point out that I think you may have seen my text message, the position for HR, the HR position in particular, it kept going from plural to singular to plural to singular. And I would just like it to be adjusted so it's one or the
We
other.
can make those that
Provide this good customer service or provides good customer service, one or the other. It just kept moving around. So I would move the Board of Directors approve resolution 2024-40, authorizing the reclassification of administrative assistant, HR, and accounting tech positions with the adjustments requested to the HR job description.
Second.
And.
roll call.
Rebecca Redor Tabor,
Yes.
Kim Gerald Johnson.
Aye.
Jose Luis Godinez.
Yes.
Edgar Castro.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you. On to item 5.7, discussion of the employee compensation plan, which will be continued. And then that moves us to 5.8. California Special Districts Association Board of Directors for the Southern Network CA. Mr. DeWitt.
I really think this one's is a no-brainer. As the board remembers, back in March, Mr. Leja had expressed interest in running for this seat, and the board did adopt a resolution. So for supporting it, elections are open right now, and CSDA just requires the vote to be by the board. My assumption is we are going to vote for Mr. Leja. That is definitely my recommendation. We did receive letters of support for Joe McKenzie from the Vista Irrigation District and Jason Danford, the General Manager of Valley Sanitation District, and their information is attached as well.
I move that Harupa Area Recreation Park District vote for Ross Leja for the California Special District Association Board of Directors Southern Network CA position.
Second.
That was Edgar.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, and is that a?
No resolution.
Okay. All in favor? No.
Oh, yeah, no resolution. You're right. I'm sorry.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, 0. Item passes.
Thank you all. Appreciate it.
And I will share, we have received a notification of a number of other districts, both myself and Mr. Leja supporting him as well. So
Okay.
I received,
we wish him well.
I received a few too. Hopefully it'll be enough.
All right, on to item 6.1, General Manager's Report. Mr. DeWitt.
I just want to remind everybody, July 3rd Independence Celebration is next week. In front of you are parking passes and admission tickets for the event. I hope everybody's able to make it. The sooner you get there, the better. We do anticipate a large crowd as always. As you remember, we did change our fee structure for this year. Pre-sale tickets remain the same, but day of tickets will go up to $10. Last year, pre-sale, we sold 188 family packs, which that's the 5 tickets for $20. As of this afternoon, we'd already sold 240 this year. The individual tickets were up to about 150 right now. Those typically are the ones that sell
More at the last minute.
more at the last minute, and people could still buy those day of at any time because the price didn't change. So we had 750 of those last year, but you could literally buy those at 7 o'clock at night last year. So it's kind of hard to tell where we're at. But we do feel that people are buying them earlier, and these are something that's always a last minute thing, so we expect the mad rush on Tuesday. Buying them for the cheaper rate still, so. Staff's ready for that event. Final meetings are being held right now. Like I said, the sheriff was texting me earlier. The email that popped up was from the sheriff regarding something else. They've been great partners with us this year, really. The new lieutenant, he was literally 2 days into the job last year. So he's taken a very active role this year to being involved and wanting to know more ins and outs of the events. One of the things he's doing different this year that we haven't is at 3:00, he's bringing a team of K9 sniffing dogs as well, just to run the site for another security check. So we appreciate all their support. We have 18 food vendors this year. So up a little bit more, trying to keep those lines manageable, trying to find that sweet spot where our vendors still feel that they are busy and making good revenues, but yet our patrons aren't having to wait in line too long. We have a really good variety of different foods as well. We did increase our jumper area. We have 20 activities for the kids, various jumpers or obstacle courses, rock climbing walls, things along those lines. Just remind everybody the fireworks show does start at 9:00, runs about 18 minutes. So thank you everybody for that. We hope to see you there because staff's done a phenomenal job. One of the issues we had last year that we talked about, with that many people on site, a lot of the cellular networks crashed or were inconsistent. What we have done is taken off of the corner of Skyview Event Center. We have mounted a outdoor wireless mesh Wi-Fi access point. There's now one off the front of the restroom facilities there in front of Granola Park that bounces it out towards Wineville. So all of our credit card processing, ticket scanning will be via the internet service provided at Skyview. We tested it today. It's working very well. We're trying to get a repeater set up so we can push some of the ticket booths and wheel call booths down Wineville to help spread out the compaction of everybody there trying to get through tickets and security checkpoints. One of the things the committee, when we talked about it this year, was writing more access points. So there's 3 access points in the facility. There's 3 separate security checkpoints. There's 3 separate locations for people that have pre-bought their tickets. They get a barcode. When they bring it up, we'll scan them. That's where they'll get their wristbands. From there, that's where they go through the security checkpoint. So if you have to buy on site, there's separate ticket booths for that. We've purchased a abundance of signage to help better hopefully direct everybody. We have a number of staff that will be on megaphones essentially up and down Wineville, helping direct people to the appropriate lines based upon having tickets or not having tickets. So I think it's going to be a lot smoother this year. We've also decided to just we're basically opening both parking lots at the same time. The parking lot at the park will open about 3:30. The one across the street will probably open 4:30. Some people just want to park across the street for whatever reason, and they'll have that option. We've increased that parking lot across the street as well. Probably doubling in size the amount of cars that we can accommodate. So there'll be 2 ways to get into that lot because there's somewhat of a grade separation within it. And when the show's over, 2 ways to get out. One, the lot that we used last year will come south on Wineville, immediately turning onto Belgrave, while the other northern lot will come out on Wineville and head north to Cantu Galliano. The sheriff's, I think, traffic flow plan and working with the city is going to be work very well for that facility. So we're excited for the event. Other than that, we have a lot of stuff going on this summer, as I referred to our staffs out there, promoting our 40th anniversary at our youth basketball program. This Saturday, they will be at Play Park in Riverbend, I want to say. It'll be posted on our Instagram, social media when they're out there giving out free popsicle or ice cream cups, as well as some of our swag, just promoting our stuff and also promoting July 3rd, trying to get more people out there. Concerts in the parks have been going very well. We've had 2 of them. This last Tuesday's attendance at Clay Park was phenomenal. Though it was a hot day, but for those of you that were able to attend, the weather ended up being beautiful. We requested that. We appreciate Mother Nature's help in that one. It's gonna be 96 degrees next Wednesday. We'll see what actually happens there. But we have 2 more concerts in the park and 1 more movie still this summer we're excited about. We're finishing up today our 2nd session of swim lessons. We have done phenomenal there as well. Our staff is doing a very good job out there. And then registration for our 3rd session, which will start the week after the holiday, is tomorrow morning. So just a word, we have a few hundred spots available each registration session. 2 Fridays ago, there was a line out the door at 8 a.m. And we had 4 staff processing registrations here as well as people online. And we had processed over $25,000 in credit cards by 9:30 that morning. So our staff is a well-oiled machine when it comes down to that. They've got it down to a science. They're doing a phenomenal job. Other than that, youth basketball is going right now as well for the summer. So if you guys break on a Saturday, I encourage you out there as well. That'll be it for me this evening.
Thank you. Now on to board comments. We'll start with Ms. Johnson.
Yes, thank you. I was able to go to the last concert at the park at Clay Park. It was very enjoyable. My 5-month-old grandson thought it was grand time. And believe me, we were happy. He was happy. When the baby's happy, you're happy. Very enjoyable, interesting music choice this time. I don't often go to concerts in the park and hear the person singing say, I wrote this song 3 days ago. I'm going to give it a try here. I'm like, wow, okay. I feel like I'm in an indie bar or someplace. Anyway, so it was a great time and I'm really looking forward to July 3rd. As always, those 18 food trucks, I can't wait. We'll just sit there in our chairs, look at them all and decide.
Some new ones, some returners.
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Godinez.
Yeah, I was able to go to the last 2 concerts in the park. Had a lot of fun. I really liked seeing staff participating as well, a lot more this time around. So kudos to them and I'm looking forward to July 3rd. And I also wanted to announce I will not be at the July 11th meeting. Be on vacation.
Thank you. Ms. Byrne.
Yes, thank you. I was listening to your information, getting excited, and then I only live at a rock throw from the park last year. It was great. This year I'm going to be in town, so we're really looking forward to it. We'll probably be there at 3 o'clock. If not, just these are the places that the kids like to say. So it's so much dedicated to the family and the kids, and happy faces is what I see, which really lights me up. And you always seem so excited about that, Kobe. So thank you for that. That's all I have.
Thank you. Mr. Leisure.
Yeah, I'm sorry I've not been able to attend either of the concerts in the park yet due to personal reasons you guys all understand. Hopefully things will be getting better and my wife and I will be able to attend the rest of the summer events.
Thank you. As for I'm also looking forward to July 3rd this year. We'll see if it gets bigger, how bigger it gets this year. But I think staff is doing a good job of updating.
It's a double-edged sword.
And also as well, I didn't go to the last concerts in the park, but I went to the first one and it was great here at Aggie staff. Yes, very engaged, so very happy with that.
Thank you.
And that's it for me. On to item 7, future committee meetings.
Nothing right now.
All right. Item 8, any agenda items for future board meetings? Anyone wants to include? No. On to upcoming meetings. Our next meeting will be July 11th at 6:30, and our July 25th meeting is canceled. So this will adjourn the.
No.
Nope, not adjourned. No. Reconvene, we will recess.
All right.
It would be
So,
appropriate. It would
We
be
will
appropriate
reconvene.
to have a motion you don't have to have a motion, just to recess to close session to continue the discussion that's on the agenda at the beginning of the meeting.
All right, before we do anything else, we will reconvene to a closed session.
Any more signatures?
Does anyone need a?
If I break. You want- you have-
So what do you recommend is the
My
best
guys
time?
will be right in on this return.
Because they're all ready.
No.
3, 6, and 7.
Closer to 6.
He's more of a eight, I think. Yeah. But his wife is Japanese, so he's. So it'll be cool.
If you want, we're like 5 chairs.
Okay.
If you want.
Some people be-
Yeah, for that too, Jimmy.
Yes,
Are you?
yeah,
it all depends on how-
2 weeks, 2
And then-
weeks.
and then the week after. Church.
Safe. Thank you, everybody.
Thank
I have to do my civic duty,
Yes.
and I don't really have a good excuse for getting out. of it.
Mr. President, I don't know, do you want Mr. Owen to stay on the call? It's your,
I don't suspect this conversation will take long. So.
Okay.
I'd rather keep them.
okay, just wanna make sure.
Yeah, keep
Yeah,
on.
keep them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Trying to get over to Hawaii to see the uncle.
Overtime tonight, Bob.
No problem.
In October, beginning of October.
I'm already missing the concerts in the park. The town of Windsor does them on Thursday nights.
Oh, do they?
So he's
Yeah.
looking. She's-
You can go to every other one.
Until Thursday night football comes on.
Oh.
No tears up north there about the A's getting swept in the last, in the series against the Angels.
The A's, good.
A's got swept.
The new team that's going to play in Oakland is now the Bees. They're the Oakland.
Bees?
Yeah, they're a minor league team called the Oakland Bees.
Uh,
I was-
After bumblebees, you know?
Do you see the giveaway the Angels are giving away tomorrow night?
No, bee or
Slippers.
slippers, the Christmas in July.
Christmas in July, and then Saturday, it's gonna be 95 degrees, they're giving out a beanie.
Yeah.
Like, okay,
I
that's
did,
different.
I did hear something that the Oakland A's are gonna finish or do next season in Sacramento while they're waiting for the new stadium to be built, that they're being kicked out again.
They're not being kicked out of Oakland, they chose.
Oh,
to
no,
leave.
but I'm saying because they chose to leave, that they're not gonna let them play their next season.
Yeah, they withdrew their.
It's like you can't quit, you're fired.
Yeah.
You know, one of those kind of things.
You're not, quitting, I fired you.
Yeah.
Well, I heard the joke today. It's been confirmed that LeBron James is sleeping with the mother of his teammate.
No.
Yeah, I saw
So he's
it.
gone?
Oh, no, because the Lakers
Drafted
drafted
his son.
Bronny.
Oh.
Did you hear that one, Bob?
No, I had not heard
Lakers
that. I was
drafted
gonna say
Bronny.
that's it.
You are allowed to groan out loud if you'd like.
Cause it was LeBron James's
Son.
dream to play on the team with his son. And they just drafted, and so the Lakers accommodated him and drafted Bronny, so he is sleeping with the.
The
mother of his-
Lakers sold their soul on that one. I'm sorry.
Isn't that
That's
right?
Huh?
What is it? Someone else did that back in the day, right?
I don't know.
No, they were saying the news that this will be the first time in the NBA that this is happening,
It's
where
happened in
father and
baseball several
son
times.
have played on the same team at the same time.
I know, I just meant the.
Oh,
I
that.
didn't know about that part.
And of course, Larry Bird passed away recently. So,
No,
was it Bird?
Jerry West.
Jerry West, that's who I did. I thought Bird, I thought Bird.
Too.
I thought Larry Bird passed away.
Oh, Willie Mays.
Willie
Didn't
Mays.
Willie Mays, yeah, but I thought Bird also passed away.
they? Okay,
All right, here we go. Billy Bird didn't pass away.
They happened in threes.
Yeah, so we will continue convene our closed session. So we need to give general manager some guidance in terms of what we would like.
So I think maybe my recap where I think I understand is from Ms. Johnson's comments. She would like to entertain or get more information on how a built-in escalator would work. For lack of a better term, I understand the concept, what you're looking at here. Where I am not clear is where the starting point would be. If we're looking at what's proposed, if we're looking at for each position. And then the length, would it just be an evergreen? Is it something, me personally, I think maybe the best plan would be that it's in place for, say, 3 to 4 years. And at that point, we do another survey to make sure we haven't exceeded the range now, or for whatever reason fell behind, and kind of do a reset if we have to. But that's where I want some discussion from you. I don't think anybody is looking at a benefit right now, other than the cost of what it would cost to administer a deferred compensation plan.
I think so. So I think that's what we're looking at right now.
Yeah.
Might as well get that in place, then they can do with it as they see fit, and if at some point in the future we want to do something where we add anything to it, it's already in place. I would not see us doing another salary survey in 3 years. I would say it would have to be at least 4, if not 5, one or the other.
I understand.
Yeah, I mean, this is tired of going through. At some point, we have to make a decision and we're not gonna,
I think the other caveat to this proposed system is, we have to pick a rating scale, the CPI, the March CPI, Riverside County, blah, 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 blah. Very similar to what we do with, it's already built into our CFDs. There's a specific report that I believe it's the April.
okay.
But I would verify that for you. I think for consistency, we'd probably use the same one. And there needs to be some sort of language, should there be a financial emergency, that it could be not implemented. If we go into a recession and it doesn't happen.
So if we as a board declared a financial emergency, we could say we're not going to do that.
I would think that's a fair,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
because one of the things, as you guys, I think, have learned through here, and I have definitely, when a recession hits the economy, it hits the public sector a little bit later.
Yes,
And then when they recover, we recover a little bit later.
yes.
So we need to be able to react appropriately.
Yeah, the last recession, I didn't get it out till 2010. Didn't get really out in 2008.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it does hit later and it does recover later, yeah. Anybody, any thoughts on the salary survey? The numbers, now that we figured it out, are far lower than what had originally been mentioned in terms of the actual cost to the bottom line.
One thing I did write some numbers on, I wanted to share with you. It's not a scientific number by any means, but I've looked back at our budgets for about the last 8-9 years here, taking the total salary dollars, which would be, the workman's comp and everything on top of it, versus our overall budget. So fiscal year 16-17, it was 27% of our budget, which was just over $3 million operating budget. And the highest it ever creeped up was 17-18, which was 30% of our budget. And it slowly has creeped back down to where, if we adopted what was proposed, we're at 24% of our budget,
What was the original 16-17 number? 20 what?
27%. In that time, our salaries the number of employees has increased dramatically. We said we're at 88 employees right now, 24 full-time. That's only up about 6 positions, full-time positions. A big chunk of that is our part-time positions. I think it just speaks to we're still being fiscally minded with what we're doing. We're not, our budgets have tripled in that same time frame. Our expenditures for salary has tripled, but it's actually percentage-wise has come down slightly. So I think we're not, I think it's just an example that we are not being, we're not just throwing the money out there.
We did, however, didn't we eliminate some maintenance positions though, because we now have
Have
a.
contract, correct, that is correct, but in doing so, we have also shed long-term PERS liability. We have shed a lot of workman's comp, potential liability. So it is a wash. I fully admit that, but, something else to, just keep in mind, just as an artist, it's not scientific by any means, but I think we do a good job of controlling our costs.
So let me make sure I understand. You were talking about doing a survey in 5 years. Today. And we will not address raising any maximums or ceilings until that survey is in 5 years.
4 or 5 years, whichever we decide on, yeah. Yeah, we wouldn't be doing another one in 3 or.
And you're talking about a COLA, which will be CPI or capped at 4%.
3.5 or 4%.
I don't think we decided that. I think that's the information.
Okay, I know it's, we kind of discussed that.
Either three, it's somewhere,
Going into it, nobody really seemed to object to that. so
3.5 to 4%, somewhere in there, yes.
I'm good with 3.5%. The only thing I have, my aversion is looking at, and I know everybody's saying it's not coming out that way, but when I see variation between 4% and 21%, I just personally cannot see giving somebody a double-digit increase. So I'll get outvoted in that, and that's fine, but that's my personal feeling.
The only thing I would say is percentage wise, we have to keep it somehow because like a recreation coordinator is lower than recreation supervisor. So like you can't say, I'm gonna cut one of them X amount and the other one Y because you have to keep it kind of in the lower position, below the higher position, if that makes sense. So I assume if we said 3/4 of this or 100% of this
Now, if
or
you
50% of that.
I was just thinking, if you wanted to do some of these percentages, instead of jumping into it, but over the course of a couple, 3 years, spread those increases out, so we're not being hit each time. Immediately for that percentage, I might be open to that, but I'm not gonna vote yes on a 21% increase. I'm sorry.
If we were to, whatever we decide, I don't think then they also don't get that 3.5% this year. That wouldn't be starting till next year, I would presume.
So for discussion's sake, if as presented was approved, right, as is presented, it was approved, 2025-26, there would be X, and that would be based upon the factor of CPI or not to exceed whatever based upon the March blah, 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 blah report. And that would start for next fiscal year, not this fiscal year.
Does that CPI increase the ranges or just where they're at currently?
It would typically increase the ranges. So you take step A,
Bump it up 4%.
bump it up, whatever it would be, correct, yes. Now,
My concern is let's use that top number, 21%. If we do that this year and we lock into that and say next year the economy tanks and we have to do something and say, look, we can't do this, and we're already locked into that 21% and we're screwed. So I don't want to see it all jump at once because I don't want to fall into, well, we just shot ourselves in the toe a year down the road or 2 years down the road. So that's my main concern, that I just think,
I understand what you're saying, Mr. Leja. I just want to make sure, I really trying hard not to use specific employees to protect their personnel rights.
Not to either.
But in this situation, that individual, the raise would not be 21%.
I heard you say that earlier.
And if that person were to leave and that range were to be approved, it would start here
At one.
at 1, which is the same thing this person would jump to. Finding, they're not, because they're maxed, they're not gonna start here. they're gonna go to there. It's not, I understand the perception 100%. I get what you're saying. So.
Yeah, in terms of this, I think I have all the information that I need. Feel comfortable to move along with this.
You said something to me, Colby, about how that deputy director position does far more than just finance. Going forward, I think we need to look at that position. It was always intended to be what is it?
Temper.
No, no, sorry, not
Okay.
thinking of the right word. We were doing succession planning with that position. And the reason that position was called the deputy director is because we needed somebody to be in charge if Colby was for some reason unavailable. And, you know, lots of things can happen. He could be run over by a bus, he could be by a ball at the Dodger game, you never know. And so that was the whole point of what that position was. And so Colby said that that position does far more than just finance. Well, I think what I'm interested in knowing to justify this kind of salary schedule is what are they doing that is deputy director jobs?
Okay, so clerk of the board, which I would say is not deputy director. But it administers all of our payroll reporting. It manages all the budget, which is, you know, $10 million at this point. All the reporting, the auditor oversees the two positions that we reclassified today, which is responsible for all the hiring, making sure that evaluations are completed, the reporting of everything. It deals all of our stuff with the county in regards to our fund transfers, as well as the banking with our various different banks that we do, reconciles the accounts, as well as verifies all check registers prior to being sent to the president for authorization. Beyond that, it deals everything with Capri in regards to insurance and liability coverage. So it's far beyond what you guys see on a
Workman's comp and.
workman's comp administering that. As you guys are aware, we've been involved in a couple of different workman's comp claims. Because of personnel sensitivity, we don't really have the only two quote unquote exempt employees are myself and Loretta. So when it comes to those competence reports that we receive, they're the ones processing them all. So it's far more than like I said, what you guys see here on Thursdays or.
Who do we have ready to step into that position should be ready to go to a ball game, get hit by a baseball?
Closest person to step into that would be Cody.
I'm just wondering if we need another position.
Well, I will tell you, we're probably 2 years from it. Loretta's retirement plan is about 6 years from now. My retirement plan is probably 8, maybe 10. So at that point, the succession plan would bring somebody in that could step into that role ready to go to number 2. And then from there, to step into the general manager's position. What that position is right now, I have some ideas out there, but I think it's something we'll have a discussion on. They need to have more of a understanding of recreation than Loretta currently does. But the reality is they need to really understand. Loretta also does all of our CFD stuff. She does all of the bold stuff. She does all of our legal requirements for our postings and stuff as well.
Uh,
That's something that is gonna be the hardest part to find somebody with experience in. But that is something that will be, that's where the training comes in and the transition plan comes into place.
But when was the last time that not only her position, but other positions, job descriptions have been updated to pretty much represent what you just said? In terms of that.
So we're in the process of doing it now. The budget personnel committee has been looking at them all. We've kind of held off on bringing them forward because we're dealing with this, so we don't have to bring them forward and then reauthorize them. We've been reviewing all those right now as we speak, and they're probably 85% done right now. Prior to that, since I have been here, I do not think we have looked at them all as a whole, other than updates because of minimum wages and then address salaries and fixing minor little things.
So not as a whole, but not as an individual. I'm kind of lost because of the job
So we
description.
created a deputy general manager position. I believe is either 4 or 5 years ago, and that's when that position's job title was looked at. Prior to that, it was an office manager.
So 4 or 5 years ago was the present person that is holding that position. And what you just shared is the fact that we're asking questions about that particular job or individual. It's fair to say that it's 5 years ago that we saw it, but everything that you spoke of may not be in there right before you're reviewing them. It's not there right now. All the different, you said we don't see it and we don't know it because she's developed or the person.
That position has evolved, as all of our positions has evolved. The accounting specialist that we just did was originally a typist receptionist. It was strictly doing data entry. And that position has evolved. We've because of different mandates through the state, a lot more reporting that we have to do than we ever did before. So those have been spread out. Well, we've just simply grown. Again, we're at 80, we have 88 people on the payroll right now. That's why we have an HR specialist just for onboarding, recruitment. And those are things that the district never had before. It was just handled by the supervisor or a manager. So
the 21% that we're talking about is today, the way information is on paper, correct?
and one thing I want to also just mention, and we're the deputy general manager position, I think, is where everybody's having some concern right now. If you do look at those averages, we brought it in a few dollars under those averages as well, because we recognize that it's hard to compare that position. And Ms. Johnson is right. A city of Fontana has an operating budget of probably $100 million. It's not the same
That's our $10 million budget.
as our $10 million budget. Don't get me wrong. $10 million is not chump change. So.
And as I recall, when I spoke to you and Cody, these numbers used are these past years, right?
These numbers, we started these numbers back in March. As again, Director Johnson referred to, the city of Rupa Valley just gave their employees 3.5% the next 3 years.
That's the county.
Rupa Valley, City of Eastville just gave their employees 3.5%.
Oh, I don't know. I know the county has agreed to a union contract of 3.5% for each of the next 2 years.
Yeah.
Rupa Valley is just doing the
Okay, I
evergreen thing.
So these are last year's numbers. And unfortunately, with a situation like this, you're always gonna have that. You can't, you don't know, because nobody's gonna give you the number. This is what's proposed, but we can't nobody can base upon that. So.
So,
I'll go ahead.
so if we approve the numbers as they are, we could also say, and we're not gonna look at them again for 5 years. Except for the merit, or not, any merit increases that people would be eligible for and any
approval of whatever.
With the exception of if we are looking at a new position for some reason.
Well, of course. And I do think that we have to have something in there that says, I mean, if at any given point, for example, it is your opinion that any given, say, a single position would need to be looked at because it has gotten significantly out of whack in a way that we didn't expect,
Or that-
you should have the right, you should have the right to come to the board and say, hey, I think this is an issue. We of course have the right to say, yes, no, maybe, whatever. But I do think we have to set it up so that you have to say that. I was using my calculator, I'm sorry.
And I think learning from this experience, it will happen in a different way going forward.
And at any time, we can always look, reevaluate these positions and they need to reclassify.
Yeah, for some reason, our youth sports program just explodes. And we look at it and like, you know, this position needs to be reclassified to a supervisor or something along those lines. I think those would be the justifications for that.
Trying to hire X positions and we just absolutely
We can't find or keep a qualified
individual in
for
X
whatever
position.
reason. Yes.
But I would want it to be clear that when we say you could come back, it would be for this or that position, not for, oh, I've decided in 3 years, we really need to look at them all. That's not what I mean, and I think you understand.
Yes. And I think if we do something like this, we put in the salary schedule. It's clearly defined at the end of it or the cover page, it doesn't matter, that this is adjusted annually based upon this factor.
Mhm.
And come 2029, everything will be
Oh, I don't know that, I mean, I know that we have to put it on the salary schedule. I mean, I think it has to be,
well, just, it needs
has
to
to be
be,
somewhere.
in 5 years, there's no guarantee all of us will be here.
No, I would assume it would go in, I don't know where it would go, if it goes in the policy manual, if it goes in the bylaws, if it goes in the personnel manual, I don't know where it goes, and Bob maybe can tell us where we would memorialize that information.
In your own approval document.
But yeah, but 5 years from now, someone can go back and look at this approval document, it's gotta be memorialized someplace else.
Well, here's the thing. I think we, if it's approved by resolution. And we put that information in the resolution, and the resolution is just what's the last page of the document. No employee's ever gonna care about it, but administrative staff will know what it is.
Okay.
You know, or approved by resolution, blah, 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 blah. Just noted on the header of every page.
Okay.
Bob, does that make? good
Yeah,
sense to you?
That's fine. That's fine. I want to make sure I understand what you're saying correctly, and that is that you would change the salary schedule to be as submitted. And then you would put a COLA, and you want to use the same that we use for the CFDs for consistency, which is the Los Angeles, Anaheim, Riverside, Orange County.
No, only Riverside County.
I don't know if there is a specific Riverside case. This was a Steven Anderson question, if you remember, going back to these inflators. At the time, there was only the LA County, Orange County one. There may be an Inland Empire one now. We could look, I can verify between Lynn and Bob, we can figure that out.
Sure.
I swear I looked it up and there is one.
And because it's the one for the CFDs is based upon construction standards. We can choose a different standard. We just need to all agree upon it.
Okay, so my point is though that you're talking about you would increase the salary steps by that amount each year, whatever, you'll come back with something at the next meeting. And then you would commit, usually the commitment is we commit to look at it again 5 years from now.
Commit not required.
But yes, okay.
Is that fair?
Just say it's the board's intent to look at it
Okay.
5 years from now and not sooner unless a particular position needs adjustment.
Or 5
good round.
If we are approving what we see on the piece of paper in front of us, then I would agree to 5.
And then the caveat of in case of a recession. Or is that?
Well, so here's the thing, in the case there was a recession or CPI was 0, there'd be no increases. The problem is we're not as volatile as, say, a city because we're not reliant on the tax dollar. For the most part, our CFD money is guaranteed. Our maintenance assessment district money is guaranteed. Our property tax money is guaranteed. If you go back to a situation of 2008, the county reassessed property values at that time. So that would lower our income. So those are the factors that would hit us. If our volatile area is recreation, which is majority of that is our part-time employees. If things were so bad that our recreation programs were hit hard, the reality is it's not so much that we're gonna look at salaries there, because I don't even have them considered in this I don't think any of us even talked about part-time staff right now. That's something else to look at. Those hours are adjusted by availability, so it's not quite the recession hitting that. But we need to be prepared that if we see it hitting, we have to react ahead of time. Because if we wait until it hits us, it's too late. That's the problem. So I think we need to have a caveat in there. If the board declares a financial emergency, that they could withhold that increase.
I don't know, it would probably be helpful to find out what number the city's using. There is a consumer price index that is a Riverside, San Bernardino, Ontario number. But I don't know.
So I can get information for you. We can look at the CPI. The one we use, we have all the information in front of us tonight. The CFDs are based on a construction index, correct, Bob?
It's all items, consumer price index, all items for Los Angeles, Riverside, Orange County. And I don't know what these numbers mean. 1982-84 equals 100. I'm not sure what that means.
That's a Lynn question. We can verify what that is in comparison, and we can look at the numbers. But we need to agree upon a specific date. So it's the April 1st report, whatever it is. So we're not December, February, whatever. So we're comparing apples to apples.
Right.
And then last question is about the deferred comp plan. You just want to hear what that would cost as sort of an informational item, or do you want it built in?
No matter what, it's gonna have to be brought back to the board for approval.
No, I know, but I'm wondering if you should build it in or just bring that as a separate item.
You're not proposing any type of match.
No.
So the only cost to the district would be the implementation,
Yes.
the administration costs of that.
Yes,
Okay.
implementation and administrative costs. So
Pretty
that's,
much.
that would be, I think, a separate item.
Sort of informational item.
Right. But I think it would be a nice arrow in our quiver to add to the list of bennies that you get when you come here, that there is also.
And we'll do, this doesn't have to happen right away, if we can look for an implementation January 1, I think makes, just to go coincide with the new fiscal year. But in looking at some of the firms out there, like Nationwide is a big one, they offer up multiple different plans. And it may be a package deal that we can offer multiple plans to people that if it's not gonna cost us anymore. Yeah, it may not.
Doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, because even on the health savings plan, they're making money off the interest of that money being in the account.
Right.
So it may not, there's one offered through Viva, who we purchase our health insurance through. It's available to us at no cost, but it's only it's an employee-owned benefit, but only employer contributions are allowed.
That's not what our.
That's not what we were talking about. That's why I didn't bring it to you. I have found there is far more variations of this than I ever knew existed.
Yeah, the only kind I've ever had is where I put money in, but if I don't use it by the end of the year, I lose it.
Correct.
Which of course causes you to have a
The
mad.
one I had, I put the money in, but I kept it. It
Interesting.
just rolled over. I never lost, even when I left the company, whatever was still on that card and that account was still mine to spend.
I see. Interesting.
So-
Yeah. So do you have what you need?
As long as I think we have a consensus, yes.
We're all,
For additional information as you just outlined, is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Have we given him the information he needs to come back to with a proposal to us?
Yeah, I feel that way with myself, researching it, because I said, if I was asked to vote tonight, I'm not ready.
So 5 years for the next across the board plan thing. This year, they would get whatever they would get. Next year, we would start the 3.5 or 4% cap thing.
I can find some sample language. I'm sure that there's memorandums of understanding out there that we can use as sample language.
Oh, I'm sure. And if you can ask the city to see what they did. No point recreating the wheel. Well, we don't recreate the wheel in public
I
service.
do not like recreating them.
No.
For a lot of reasons.
I can't bring this, I won't be able to get this back next week, in the next board meeting.
Yeah.
Especially if Mr. Godina's not here as well either, but just with the event next week. Yeah.
Do we have a provision in there that if there is a financial emergency, the board reserves the right to implement a wage freeze?
That's what we're.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
gonna
that's-
be in it,
okay,
yes.
so that language is gonna be specific.
Okay, yes, no, that's what we want.
Right.
So are we good?
We're all good.
Good ahead?
All good.
you're good, Mr. DeWitt?
I believe so, yes.
Yes.
Right, so that'll, this now concludes, our closed session.
Don't we have to go back into open session?
And
Yes.
Do we go back into open session?
Yes, go back into open session. Consider
We'll add
yourself,
the next agenda as well.
consider yourself there. And the announcement is that the board considered the matters under Government Code Section 54957.6 and instructed staff to bring it back at a future meeting. And that concludes it.
Paid staff instruction and whatever.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
this, thank you,
and
Bob.
we're still there.
I adjourned the board meeting, right?
Jim.
All right.
7:53.
Meeting
Good night, everybody.
Thank you, Bob.
We're still out of here long before we release.